Alright, let's take a look at number 10 and number 11. Number 10, if you don't recognize it, you should. This is a trinomial, and we are going to factor this. So we would do our x chart, 9 and 6. Our two numbers are 3 and 3. So our factors are x plus 3 and x plus 3. You can write this as quantity squared, since they are the exact same factors. And when you square and square root at the same time, those will cancel each other out, and you're left with x plus 3. The same thing is going to happen here for number 11. This will factor into x minus 6 quantity squared. The square root will cancel the square, and we're left with x minus 6. Now, moving down the page a little bit, it says find the real roots for x if x squared equals 100. Now, hopefully you are starting to realize that the opposite of something squared is square root. So if we wanted to get x by itself here, you would square root and you would get 10. But I want you to think about this. In the last chapter, we had equations like this. We set them equal to 0, and we factored. Whoops. We would get two solutions here, 10 and negative 10. What has to happen in this upper example here is you need to write positive or negative when you take the square root of two sides. When you're solving an equation, it's different than when I just ask you for the square root of 100. The square root of 100 is 10. When you're solving an equation, I'm asking for all the possibilities of x. So when you square root 100, I'm asking what numbers multiply by itself to give you 100. That would be positive 10 or negative 10. So I might write a note right here for myself. When square rooting both sides, don't forget the plus or minus. Okay? Same thing is going to happen over here. We would divide by 5 and get 9. When you square root, you get positive or negative 3. So just keep that in mind. Last thing I want you to do is jump down on the page a little bit. I want to label here. Your index is the number that is right here in your radical. This symbol is a radical symbol. A lot of people misuse square root or root for short. The problem with that is if the index is anything other than 2, it is no longer a square root. It's a cube root, it's a fourth root, it's a fifth root, so on and so forth. So you will hear this symbol called a radical or a root symbol. Inside here is your radicand. Just a little bit of vocab for you to take a look at.